I've always enjoyed late-night walks. There's something about the stillness that makes everything feel simpler. I'm a welder by trade, been doing it for over 40 years now. I live alone on a big farm, just me and my dog Bosley. The house is too large for one person, but I never had the heart to downsize after my wife, Maria, passed away. My kids moved out years ago, and ever since cancer took her, it's just been me and Bosley. One night, after a long day in the shop, I decided to go for a walk. My property is pretty big, so just a single loop is usually enough to satisfy my craving. The air was cool, and Bosley trotted along beside me. Sometimes I think he likes me more than I like him. I've walked that loop hundreds of times, but as I was heading back toward the house, something caught my eye. I glanced up at the second-story window, the one that looks out from the bedroom Maria and I used to share. For a split second, I thought I saw something move. I stopped dead in my tracks, staring up at that window. There was no reason anyone should be in there. I hadn't been in that room in years, couldn't bring myself to. I felt my blood start to boil at the thought of some stranger breaking into my house. I wasn't going to stand for that. I rushed inside, my heart racing, and ran upstairs. The room was empty, just like I left it. No sign of anything out of place. I looked everywhere imaginable, but found nothing. Yes, I was pretty freaked out, but I was more angry than anything. I didn't take this kind of thing lightly. I figured I had just seen something that wasn't there, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been in that room. The next night was worse. Bosley started growling in the middle of the night, something he never does unless there's a reason. And then I heard it, creaking, coming from upstairs. Footsteps, right above me. The following night, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off in the house. I tried to convince myself it was just the creaking of the old floorboards, but Bosley wouldn't stop growling. That was when I heard it again. Footsteps, distinct and slow, right above me, coming from the old bedroom. My pulse quickened as I listened, frozen in bed. I knew the house made noises, old wood creaks, but these were different. These were deliberate. My thoughts raced. Was someone in the house? No, that couldn't be. The police had searched it already. But still, the footsteps continued, and Bosley was now on full alert, standing stiff as he stared at the ceiling. I grabbed the flashlight from the nightstand, the metal cool in my hand, and slowly made my way toward the stairs. Every step felt heavier as the sound of footsteps upstairs seemed to grow louder. I stopped at the bottom of the stairs, shining the beam upward into the darkness. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear the creaking above. With Bosley close by, growling softly, I climbed the stairs, every creak of the steps sending a jolt through me. I reached the bedroom door, hand trembling on the knob. Pushing it open slowly, the light from the flashlight swept over the room. It was exactly as I left it. Undisturbed. Empty. But something was wrong, deeply wrong. The air was thick, heavy, like something unseen was lingering. I searched the room carefully, opening closets, checking corners, even the attic hatch. Nothing. But the feeling remained, and it was stronger than before. The room felt occupied. I couldn't explain it, but I knew something was there, watching, waiting. That night, I didn't sleep. Every sound, every shadow felt like a threat, like something was coming for me. And whatever it wasn't human. It had been a week since I first noticed something strange in the house. The nights had become restless, filled with creaks, rustles that seemed to haunt me. Every night, I woke up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding like crazy, and Bosley kept nagging at the emptiness. But on the third night, everything changed. That night, I heard footsteps again, but this time they didn't stop upstairs. No, they began to descend. Gradual, slow, but steady steps down the stairs. I lay in bed, unable to move, listening to them coming closer. My breathing became rapid and ragged, and a cold sweat ran down my back. The footsteps stopped just outside my bedroom door. At first, I decided not to move, pretending I wasn't there, but curiosity and fear took over. I gathered all my strength and opened the door. There was no one in front of me, only darkness. But as soon as I stepped into the corridor, I felt something icy and alien staring back at me. Every step through the house echoed in my head, as if the house was breathing with me. I slowly made my way to the old mirror on the first floor where Maria once stood. An inscription appeared on the mirror, covered in dust and cobwebs. It was not carved or written. It was an imprint, as if someone's hand had left a mark. "I'm waiting for you." I rushed back to my room, but the feeling wouldn't leave me. It was here, right behind me. I couldn't run forever. That night, I realized one thing. This place wasn't mine anymore. The house belonged to someone else. Someone who wasn't going to let me go. The night was darker than ever before. I sat in the corner of the room, hugging my rifle, listening to every sound, every shadow that moved in the dark corners. The house had a life of its own. It breathed like a living thing. Bosley lay beside me, but even his presence gave me no peace of mind. This time, it was different. Something was coming. Whispers started coming from all directions, as if someone was speaking directly into my ear, but when I turned around, there was no one there. The shadows grew thicker. They began to move like a living entity, enveloping the walls of the house. I stood up, slowly rising from the floor, my heart pounding like a frenzy. The light of a flashlight couldn't penetrate the gloom. When I went to the window, the same figure was standing outside as the day I'd first seen her. Only now, she was closer. Her face remained obscured, but I could feel her cold gaze on me. This couldn't go on. I had to end this. Gathering all my resolve, I stepped outside, gun in hand. The figure remained motionless. I pointed the gun at her, but my hands trembled like never before. The whispers grew louder. It seemed like the whole house was trying to hold me back. I fired a shot, but she didn't disappear. She took a step forward.